obviously, this past year, ton of effort and energy expended by the players, by the coaching staff, by our marketing, sales, PR, and John Purdue Club staff, and by the fans. And we don't have much to show for it. And that's disappointing. It's discouraging. As I've listened to people over the last 6 weeks, and I think sometimes people don't realize, you all do, how much time I spend with this program. I think you know that I'm at every practice and travel to the games and I'm with the team, and so I'm probably have a better sense for where the kids and the coaches are than most people. And so I probably rode the roller coaster Saturday night as much as anybody, because I know how much they put into this season, and when you don't get the return on your investment, so to speak, it's just hard. It's life. You have to learn how to rebound. But in talking to people over the last 6 weeks, and my mailbox got pretty full over the weekend, as you might imagine. Although it was interesting, there were more people with words of kind of consolation than I would have expected. But there's probably two camps that people are in. And the first camp would be the people who said, look, the bottom line is the bottom line. You keep scoring the games, and it is what it is. And any kind of explanation or rhetoric or discussion is simply viewed as being excuses. And they're right, in some respects. If that's you're coming from that vantage point, that is what we were judged upon. And I think Daryl's made that pretty clear during the course of the season. It's about winning games. We know that. There's another camp that's out there that looks at it and says, we talked going into the season about how well some of these kids would play, and the Bentleys and the Kuglers and the Frankie Williams really played at a pretty high level. And they're going to be back, and that's encouraging. And, we've had some people say, we had 4 or 5 games this year that if the offense and defense would have played at the same level of performance, we could have spun those 4 or 5 games. So they look at it a little differently. Myself, I'm in the middle, because it is a bottom line game. You can't sit there and point to things and say, I hope that this will lead us to better things. On the other hand, I can't discount the other side because they're being factual. If you look at many of the metrics you would use to chart progress of a team, they certainly moved in the positive direction. But at the end of the day, as Daryl has said so aptly, it's about winning. And I sat here 2 years ago about this time and said our goal was to go back to Pasadena. Now, we're not going to change that goal because we haven't gotten there. That's the right goal to have. And we are going to graduate our players, and they're going to do well in the classroom. And that's just part of who we are. So, I think that, you have a fraction, a very fractionalized fan base right now. And I understand that, and I can relate to both of those sides. And that's why I say I'm in the middle. It is a bottom line game. I did see some improvement. We don't have enough playmakers yet. They may be on the roster. I hope they are. I think Danny Anthrop was clearly moving in that direction. But we don't have enough guys when it's crunch time who are making the plays. And I think you have some kids on that roster, quite frankly, who are capable of doing it today, and we've got to add to that pipeline. You're not going to be able to take the step that you want to take unless you have some people. And we've had them, whether it be in football or basketball. We've had kids that have made those plays at crunch time. You got to have that on your roster.